know, hopefully some kids can learn from it, but just don't get caught.
I'm down to dunk.
And I'm down to dunk. I'm down to dunk. This is J-Dub, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Shai Improving, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lindy Waters, and I'm down to dunk. I'm Mike Muscala, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Kenneth Williams, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to dunk.
We say this is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
Cracklin Oat Bran?
Have you had Cracklin Oat Bran?
No,
No. Okay.
but it's healthy.
You a big oat brand guy?
I'm a big Oat Bran guy.
Okay.
I think I would switch it with Fruity Pebbles.
Okay, eat faster. Don't put as much in the bowl.
You have a gallon of milk I can also take home.
You don't have milk at home?
One cinnamon toast.
Okay.
Crunch. Yeah. Cereal is great. Yeah.
Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. With me for the second week in a row on a Sunday is Michele Berra. Michele, what's up?
Well, first of all, thank you for waking up super early on Sunday and doing this with me.
You got
That's that half a gallon of coffee.
Yeah, might need that today. So, Michele, it's August. There's nothing going on in the NBA except for this James Harden news that Harden's not showing up to training camp and the Sixers aren't trading him and we're at a stalemate, which is, it's not an unpredictable, place to be with both of those guys. So, yeah, pretty bad for both of them, I would say. I guess maybe not for James Harden. James Harden's still going to get paid, but the Sixers are still just slowly, ever so slowly, just falling apart, and it's not great.
I wonder how much pressure is like creeping up in Morey's office. I mean, it's hard to do this trade for James Harden, thinking that everything will work. Basically, not doing immediately directly from Houston because you can't, because you actually your former owner is mad at you, and then you do it 1.5 years later, and it's not working. And they spent a lot of assets, and again, now you are stuck with Joel, and I don't know. I mean, you have to win a title over, or at least shown him that you are competitive enough,
Just
like
get
doing
past
at
the
least
second round. Like, just get past the second round.
Yeah. No, you have to. I mean, I don't think that will work. You have to be in the Eastern Conference Finals, or in the finals, in order for him to say, okay, I trust this, because there is no improvement. That is the issue. Because if you constantly improving and you have Milwaukee playing the greatest basketball, think about the Bulls. Like, you can be a great team, but if on the other side there is Michael Jordan, you can say, okay, like, we are doing everything. Just that guy is like, no matter where I play, this guy will be there.
Yep.
I don't think that is the feeling that there exists now in Sixerland. Like, I think that the team is probably the best version of the team is the one with Jimmy Butler, which is 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And it's never better than that. So at some point he will either he's super duper loyal and he wants to stay there because he's like wired that way, or it's going to be happening in the next one and a half season. I would guess. And Harden, I mean, yeah, he will get paid, sure, but by whom? I mean, I can see a team like Charlotte making an offer because they are desperate. I can see Chicago maybe paying him, maybe. But does a top tier team really trust him again? Like, after a no-show, as soon as he's not like okay with the situation. It just doesn't show up. He didn't show up in Houston. He asked for a trade in Brooklyn, and now he's basically not showing up in Philly. When arguably his play is why the Sixers are not past the second round. It's not anybody else's fault. I mean, of course, there are other stuff. It's never one player's fault, but he's paid like the second best player in the on the team, and he was not the second best player for Philadelphia in the playoffs. So it's a tough position for him as well. I mean, is there a situation where in the next 2 years he's on a Russell Westbrook trajectory where he's bouncing here, there, here, there?
Totally possible. Totally possible.
Yeah.
So he's getting paid $35 million, which looking at like Karl Anthony Towns and other players' contracts, like that doesn't seem so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But when that contract ends, it's a good point. Like Russ is making 3.8 next year.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be that low, but how much are teams going to be willing to pay for Harden? I mean, could he get 4 for 80 from somebody?
Yeah, that's a good deal.
And honestly, that's great value for James Harden.
Yeah.
That's tremendous value for Harden. Now his agent will push for way more than that. Like there's no question. But he's also got to play. He's got to play really well for that to happen.
When it matters. I mean, he's a great regular season player. I mean, everybody knows that. He can just like walk up and score 45 points, 10 assists, shooting 48% from three. Like he can do that every single night, which Russ can't, which is a very, very different situation. I'm talking more about like being a relevant player on a relevant team. That is something that I really question. Again, a team like Charlotte can say, okay, let's see, we have millions, just spend millions on a guy like that, and we'll see where we go. Maybe we'll go to the playoffs because he's pretty damn good at running a regular season offense, since we possibly don't care. We will actually be okay blaming someone for a first round exit. So that could be a great strategy. But again, it's these kind of teams. It's not the team that actually wants to win.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. Yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes. I mean, Harden, his best case scenario for him is to actually just show up to camp and just play hard and be good. Because if you're really good for Philly, somebody's going to pay you.
Yeah.
But if you sit out, or if you're just mediocre, like teams aren't going to pay him.
Yeah.
Michele, guess how many times James Harden last season scored more, 30 points or more?
I actually don't have any good idea of that, so I will say 18.
He did it 5 times.
Okay. I thought a bit more. In my head, I had like not many times, but come on, like 18 times. That should be like one out of 4 games.
Yeah, 5 times he did it against Milwaukee, Boston, Milwaukee, Utah, and Memphis.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
It is wild. How many times did you take like less than 16 shots? 20 shots?
16 shots?
Yeah.
A lot. Let's see.
Yeah, or the opposite. Because I wonder if this is just inefficiency or just lack of...
37 times he didn't shoot. He took 15 shots or less.
Well, then it's also like... expected less times where it took more than 15. But again, it will be a decline also in the regular season from now on. And you are right. If he doesn't show up, if he doesn't play hard, there will be people like thinking, okay, he was 3 years ago a max player. Last year, he was probably a good player. And he sit out like this season. What are we paying him? Like, why should we pay him 40 millions?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't understand why he just took the player option then. Because like this season, to me, maybe someone will go 120 for 4 years. That doesn't seem like terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not terrible. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with James. He clearly is not the same player, but still a very productive player.
Yeah.
So I don't mean this like to completely demean him. I mean, 34 times he scored 20 or more.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he's still a really good scorer. Was an amazing passer for the Sixers last year.
Mm-hmm.
Had 2 20 assist games.
Yeah.
And was double-digit assists in 37 games. So
yeah, that's not easy to do. But again, I mean, if you look at the whole package, the willingness of saying, okay, let's go and pay him whatever, a max, that is not something that I would actually do. I mean,
yeah, you could not do that.
no,
Like, you just flat out cannot do that.
yeah. Yeah, and there is a lot of gray between the max and the MLE, even if those contracts are less and less used for veterans. I mean, you can use them as an extension to, like for Lou Dort, not paying him the max, but paying him something that is like twice the MLE. I don't see that going a lot. There was a funny infographics. I think it was Bobby Marks putting that online about how money are distributed in the NBA, and it's again max, near max, and then a lot of nothing up until the MLE level, especially for vets.
Yeah.
So I wonder where a player like that will actually end up in 2 years.
Yeah, that's a great point, because there's not a lot of wiggle room for a lot of these teams to give out these mid-tier contracts.
Yeah,
just don't really exist all that much. So
yeah, and it's also about how do you want to use your cap space? Are you want to fill out your roster with like you have 40 millions in space? Are you actually paying 2 guys 20 millions, or you're trying to get the max player? And I think, or I mean, paying one as a max player. I think that this is what teams are doing. Instead of saying, okay, I have these 2 good players that I want to fill my roster with.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how this plays out. He will be a very interesting player next summer. And now maybe a team will surface, and some team will want him, but maybe a team will surface that would be willing to pay him a lot of money. Okay, Michele, first question. I have 5 questions for you.
Wow.
First question. Is there a price that makes sense for the Thunder to buy low on Pascal Siakam?
I was thinking about that. Probably prompted by either the Fry pod or the Wednesday pod. Because if you think about it, it's a very good 4 to have with your team. I mean, I like the idea of developing Usman Jang, developing Bit Pokuševski, but Pascal is a good product. Like, he's not a guy that will change dramatically the trajectory of your locker room. Like, he's not the guy that will say, okay, this is my team. No, it's clearly not. It's not. And that is probably going to be the 3rd, 4th, 5th best player on the team, but he's darn good 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So right now, it doesn't seem to me a good idea today. At the deadline, it could be, especially if, I mean, to me, the most important part is how does the core feels about it, and how does he feels about it? Is he willing to say, okay, I'm coming and re-upping immediately? I don't think he can, but like liking the project, liking the idea of constructing something in OKC long term. If those are like points where both sides are okay, we are interested in doing that, then I would actually pay Usman Jang, Cason Wallace, and a couple of first, maybe 1 first.
Whoa,
that is not great.
That is like by far the best trade package they could get.
Yeah. Is it too much? Probably it's too much.
It's too much. It's too much.
Either one of Kaysen Wallace and Usman Jang plus
Yeah,
one pick,
one of them. One of them.
which is
Just
probably Ooze.
because they're in a position where they can, if they did it today, they could use Bertans and Oladipo like as contract fodder to make it work.
Yeah, they can also do that at the deadline, I think.
And then if they hang on to both of them.
Yeah, for Bertans is probably the case. For Oladipo, I actually don't know.
Yeah, Bertans, yes, but Oladipo less certain on something like that. But yeah, Kaysen and Oos is too much. But
do you think that they will settle for less?
Here's the thing. I think Toronto's going to drag their feet into Pascal's free agency and lose him. Is what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, but yes, yes, I agree. But if you're OKC, you know that you can't really acquire him if he goes there, and Toronto knows that. Like you're not a free agent.
They're
not just because of the city. I'm talking more about the cap structure. You will not be able to do that in free agency, whereas you are able to do it now.
Yeah, I don't think I just don't think the Thunder will do this. I'm just wondering if there's a price that's low enough because I just don't know that you can afford to pay him. I don't know. I mean, he's making 37 right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's a top 20, 25 player in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to command probably $50 to $60 million.
Yeah, that's the non-starter for me. I don't think that a player like that will actually be good for OKC. I mean,
my question though, and I just don't. This is another reason why the Thunder wouldn't do it. Is there a price that's low enough where the Thunder would just be okay with having him on the team for just this season?
That is why it's not now.
Because it would be like Bertans, Oladipo, and then like one pick. If it was just like one pick.
Yeah. Okay. But that is. I mean, yes. But like Toronto will scoff at that. Say, okay, we'll do the same. We'll just have him.
Yeah,
and play our cards in free agency. That's why I say, okay, you need to go. I mean, yes. Now that I think about it, it's too much to get to Ooze and Kaysen together. But one of them in a pick. I mean, I don't think that Pascal will raise them to like title contender, and if it doesn't, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially if you think that there is a team that is likely able to offer Pascal those kind of money, which I don't think there exists. I don't think there will be a line of teams like saying, okay, let's just pay Pascal a max and lure him out. I mean, which team is able to do that next season?
I don't know. That's why he is like one. I think he wants to stay in Toronto.
Yeah, and
wants the extension, but the Raptors are screwing up again.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know they won the title, and you can never take that away from them.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. But since then, boy,
yeah,
it's been an absolute mess. An absolute mess for them.
If you entertain a deal with Philly, that makes a ton of sense for both sides.
For Harden?
Yeah. I mean, you can reroute Harden wherever. That is not the point. It's the point of getting assets. And like for Philly, to me, is more for the Philly side. I mean, having that guy can change the equation quite a bit.
Yeah. The one that I like the most is probably the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Where you could trade Chris Paul and Kuminga and a pick.
Yeah. Is this enough? I mean, for Toronto, it's a terrible deal.
That's a terrible deal?
Yeah.
What about...
Yeah, sure. If you do... I was thinking at least Wiggins.
Oh, no, you can't deal Wiggs.
Why? No, sell me on why.
If you're the Warriors, you're trying to win a title.
I know.
What if it's Kuminga, Moody, Chris Paul, and 2 picks?
Yeah, but why can't I get Wiggins?
Because Wiggins is because I want to have a lineup that is Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Pascal, Draymond. That's what I want. Then I can go win the NBA title.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I'm not doing it.
It depends on how much trust you have.
Von Looney. Hey, if you want Pajemski, you can have Pajemski too.
No. I was thinking more about the role on the court that Pascal and Wiggins play, and I'm not sure I like them together.
Wiggins shoots though.
Yeah, he does. How much gravity does he really create?
Honestly, the gravity that Steph creates himself, it just
Yeah, I know.
you know.
Yeah, but if you keep them both, then there is no chance in re-upping with Siakam. Whereas if you have him and not Wiggins, you may actually trying to extend that.
But Wiggins and Draymond only make 20, 24, and 22 million. Like the question becomes then in next offseason, is it Clay or Pascal that you re-up with?
Yeah. I don't know. If I'm in Toronto, I'm not really liking your package right now.
Yeah.
Of players and picks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't do really much to me. I mean,
Toronto's just going to stink. Is like
I know, but at least give me a project that I really like. I mean, they it's reported that they like Jeng. I mean, I'm sure that they want something in which they can believe in. Like Kuminga, Moody.
Kuminga's only 20.
Kuminga, Moody. No, I don't quite like it. And
the Warriors had like this golden opportunity in front of them. And they have kind of screwed it up with the players that they picked, with Wiseman and Kuminga.
Yeah.
There's still fans of Kuminga out there. They exist.
Yeah, but yes.
They're not on this podcast, but they do exist.
I mean, I should do it because it's the third time this summer that I'm posing this question without actually searching for an answer. How many times does a player stink for 3 years and then he becomes an all-star?
I mean, I'm trying to think of a good example.
And it's not that necessarily Kuminga is a stinky player. It's just not blossoming into anything.
Yeah. No, he's not blossoming into anything.
Yeah. How many players like they just coast through without too many shining moments of their first 2-3 seasons, and then boom, they go out and be incredible players.
Yeah. I don't know. The one that immediately hit my brain was Andrew Bynum, but I don't know that he
okay.
He was okay he kind of struggled the first few years of his Lakers career and then kind of blossomed. But he's also like an 18-year-old big.
Yeah.
And the league was just so much different back then. Yeah, I mean, maybe Kuminga could become an Andrew Wiggins kind of player down the road, which I know he made an all-star team, but he's not a real all-star. Like, let's just be clear.
Yeah, but Wiggs was, I mean, he was very, very, very talented. It was apparent that he was very talented, and he was scoring a lot. He signed the max extension with Minnie, and I mean, I was convinced, like giving him a max deal is the only option for Minnie, because he's not like, he's improving. He's shooting the ball better, and he has the efficiencies in his game for sure. But Kuminga, like for Kuminga, like a year like the one that Wiggins had in year 2, year 3 of his rookie career is a dream.
Yeah, it's true.
And maybe it's opportunity.
Yeah. You know how many minutes total Jonathan Kuminga played in the playoffs this past year?
8.
That's more than that. 61 minutes.
Okay.
But
yeah. And after the first round,
after the first round. Oh gosh, let me see if I can pull up the game log. I'm just looking at total minutes. It cannot be very many. In against the Lakers, let's see. He played in a blowout, 9 minutes in a blowout.
Yeah, then there's already
He
more
played
than
9
eight.
minutes in another blowout.
Damn.
Played 0 minutes in game 1, 0 minutes in a close game 3. So in these two close games, -5, -3, he didn't play any. In a 15-point win for the Warriors, he played 2 minutes and 24 seconds. And then in a 21-point loss, he played 3 minutes and 45 seconds. He just didn't play in that series. And they needed somebody, especially if you're 6'8". I don't know how 215, 220, whatever he is. He's got like the physical profile. But we've talked about this a lot. That there's a reason the Thunder did not pick Jonathan Kuminga.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it was just like, not that he's not talented. He's extremely talented. It's just the way that he processes the game, which makes it harder for him to be on the Warriors, I think.
Yeah, and it's weird that the Warriors, that are the team that showed how IQ and
Sean Livingston. Like Sean Livingston became a very valuable player on their team just because of this, because of his brain.
Yeah, and it's the ability to process the game at a certain speed. I mean, it's something that you could see a guy like Franz Wagner having. I mean, I was questioning, is he worth like a top 10 pick because of the talent?
Mm-hmm.
But the glue guy status, it was obvious to me that he could have been like a very, very good glue guy and a shooter. I mean, it was right there. And
he was right there. And Kuminga was just like it's clear that it was not Steve Kerr and the coaching staff having any input at all. This was like ownership saying, hey, highest swing, like just swing as hard as you can.
Yeah, but it's
And Kuminga was that. I mean, 6'8" wing that jumps out of the gym, that can do a lot of different things, like showed flashes of lots of different things.
Mm-hmm.
Kuminga's got to have a good year this year. Like he's got to play real minutes this year to get his career on track. Because he played in the regular season, 20 minutes a night for the 7th pick in the draft. That's just not good enough.
No. So, it's again, it's swinging twice, and I'm fine swinging with a late pick. Like you have Pokusevski there at 16, just swing it.
Yeah.
If it goes nowhere, who cares?
Yeah.
The likelihood is that you get a role player, and yeah,
it's tough. They were in a position to be able to swing. They won the title.
You would swing once,
but it would have been nice to get somebody that you can play 30 minutes a night.
Look at Presti. I mean, like Cason Wallace is not a swing. It's hey, we swung one with Usman Jang.
Yeah,
let's see. Now we can't swing.
Yeah,
we need to balance the times where we swing and times where we pick.
Mm-hmm.
A more reliable sort of development. And granted, like Cason Wallace can be nothing in 3 years. He can be just a player that can't stay on the court because it's too small. Guys like Sam Vecini said, okay, he is small. There are not many times where a 6'3", 6'4" point guard can actually impact the game to a high level because of the size. So it can happen. It's just the mean value for a guy like Cason Wallace is an NBA role player that plays on the 8-man rotation of a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the mean value of a guy like Usman Jang or guys like that is probably being out of the league.
Mm-hmm.
And the upside, though, is, hey, that can be the next superstar because of the size, the touch, the smoothness, the ball handling at 6'11" or whatever he is. So with Kuminga, it was clear that the ability to process just watch 3 clips with him, and you will know. I remember, and we discussed it on Thunder After Dark, like the fact that Mike Schmitz was saying, "Hey, what were you seeing in these clips where he was just getting the ball, jabbing, jabbing, and shooting?
rough.
Yeah, I missed the shot. Hell no, this is not what you're supposed to look at. It's, hey, you have a close defender. There is a guy that is wide open at the top of the key. You have the timing window to pass the ball to a wide open guy, and you are jabbing, 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 and taking like an ill-advised 2-point jumper. And if you don't realize that, there are guys that are unable to process the game real time.
Yeah.
But when you show them, they actually realize, hey, you made a mistake. Oh, okay.
Yep.
And you force yourself to recognize small situations. You'll maybe never get to Halliburton or Giddy or LaMelo Ball kind of, hey, I'm going to see that 3 seconds before it happens. But maybe you can do boom rhythm stuff where, okay, I'm getting passing, and but if you rewatch it, and you don't understand it, that is, I mean, again, it was there. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's a reason Steve Kerr won't play him in the playoffs. There's a reason for that. Okay, question number 2. Can you tell me the 3 youngest players on the Thunder's roster?
I think I can. Josh Giddey. He's the 3rd youngest.
Yeah.
Cason Wallace, Usman Jang.
That's exactly right. Cason Wallace is the youngest.
Oh, damn. Okay.
And then
them in line.
Usman Jang. Cason Wallace turns 21 next November. Usman Jang turns 21 in May.
Okay.
And then Giddey turns 21 this coming October.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
For Giddey,
did you know that Giddey is only a month older than Brandon Miller, who hasn't played an NBA game yet?
Yeah.
1 month.
Yeah, he's
older
extremely young.
than Brandon Miller. Jaime Jaquez is a year and a half older
than Giddey.
Than Josh Giddey, who has played 2 years in the NBA. That to me is a good, like, hey, no one's like worried about Giddey. Everybody thinks Giddey is good. But Giddey is the same age as a lot of the guys that are in this class that's incoming.
Yeah.
Like, he's not that much. I think he's like 6 months older than the Thompson twins.
Yeah.
Like, he is
it's insane.
Right there with them. Like, he's basically the same age as the Thompson twins. And he's got 2 years of experience.
And it's not that he's like,
and
it's not that he actually, oops. Okay. Sorry.
That?
Yeah, it was my doorbell.
That's your doorbell.
Yeah. You always have the same reaction. There should be in half an hour a party for Anita, who is turning 9 today.
I am having a birthday party for my 9-year-old today as well.
Wow.
Today we're having a football swim party.
Wow. But I remember their birthday being close, but not the same day.
Yeah. Well, today's not his birthday, but today's his birthday party.
Okay. But my in-laws, which I'm betting are arriving like 35 minutes earlier because that is what it is. Anyway, back on Giddey, and it's not at 2 years. It's it's 2 years away from being 2 years away. No. He's shown that he can dominate like a playing game, which is mind blowing. And to me, like when we already discuss, and I'm guilty as well, about in the best version of OKC in 2 years, maybe we have to trade Giddey. Whoa. In 2 years, Josh Giddey can be the best player on the team. Like, would I bet on that? No. Can it happen? Absolutely, yes. If it keeps the trajectory of improvement, that is actually borderline crazy. I mean, the jump that he made from year 1 to year 2 is insane. And nobody is talking about it. Like, I know that J-Dub made a jump between the first half of the season and the second one, and it was apparent. And I'm pumped. I mean, we should be as pumped for Josh Giddey. I know that it's unconventional. I know that the plus minus is not there. And there are many things where you can say, he is like improving in terms of numbers, but can he really be impactful? He's showing the aggressiveness, the ability to attack, like to be like a scorer, to just pull the defense of the other team against him. It's not. There are many chances where he's not guarded 1-on-1 yet, which is insane. And he's not generating as many free throws as he should be generating with his play style, which we know this is only a byproduct of age. I mean, there are players like Luka who are like from the jump, they are used to get fouls. They are used to do that. For Giddey, it was not that. He didn't try to get the contact basketball style in his first 2 years. And now he's learning to do that. And it's only a matter of time before he gets 5, 6, 7 times to the line. And when that happens, that player becomes an all-star, period. That is going to happen.
Yeah. Chris Murray, over 2 years older than Giddey. Omex Prosper is a year and change older than Giddey. I mean, it's these guys that haven't played in the league yet that are like young first-round picks are still older than Josh Giddey. Now, a lot of these guys are younger, like Vic and Scoot and Anthony Black, and all these guys are like quite a bit younger than him. But there are a lot of guys coming into the league. Like, he is the age of most rookies at 20 years old.
Yeah.
And so that, to me, I just think that we need to like pump the brakes a little bit with Josh and just say like, hey, what he did at 20 years old, because his birthday is at like a really great time because he's that same age the entire season, October 10th.
Yeah.
He's the same age for an entire season. So his year 20 in the league, 16, 6, and 8, or 16, 8, and 6 is insane for a 20-year-old.
On like league average efficiency.
Yeah, 48% from the field. 48% from the field. A lot of times we like to focus on the three-point shot, which obviously from 26% to 32% is a lot. But to go from 41.9% from the field to 48.2%, that to me that's a number to really look at, maybe even a little bit more. That he became efficient like all over the court, not just from three.
Yeah.
So I just think he just did a tremendous job with his game, and I'm excited to see what he looks like. And even like he's 21, like a lot of times you don't even evaluate what a guy is at age 21.
Yeah.
Look at Jonathan Kuminga. Like, we're still giving him some time, but Giddey is obviously a very good player that's going to have the chance to make all-star teams, I think, just because not many guys at age 20 average 16, 8, and 6, 31 minutes per game on a team that makes the play-in, on a team that has like this upward trajectory, where he's the second best player on the court next to Shai in that Pelicans game, in that play-in game. It's just absurd. It's just absurd what he was able to do in year one. Also, Jay Will is the fourth youngest guy on the team.
That probably I couldn't have guessed from the top of my head.
Yeah, which I think is interesting. He just turned 21. And that's somebody else that I think he's definitely closer to a finished product just because he's like more limited athletically.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still somebody that's really young, that's developing. So anyways, I just wanted to bring that up. Okay. Let's take a quick break, and we come back. We're going to talk about Shai and Team Canada. And we're back after that quick break. Michele, did you watch any of Shai with Team Canada yesterday against the New Zealand? What was they? The All Blacks? What are they? I don't know what they are.
Well, in rugby, they are surely the All Blacks. I don't know.
One, they didn't have any clue what they were doing playing defense, because there were multiple times where Dylan Brooks was defended as if he were Steph Curry out there. Yeah. But I was Steve Jones on Twitter, who's a great follow, has a great podcast with Nikai Duncan, and he was posting about Shai's shot.
Mm-hmm.
And did this many times. So we're going to show these clips. We can And we can talk over these clips. So
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks, that's the one. So here's Shai in the corner. Now the shot just looks a lot better. I'll show it again. So again, just
Dylan playing the point
Terrible
in a messy way.
and
Powell,
just
quick outlet.
Shai nailing
to
the
Shai.
corner three. It just looks a little bit more smooth.
Yeah, compact, quicker, and smoother. Yeah,
No
he's
hit.
clearly working a lot in the shot. I mean, the form when he started his career in the NBA was very forward. Like the angle between his body and his hands,
Yeah.
his arms was very, very front. I would say. Oh, I can't do it from the top of my head right now, but it was like 100 degrees. And now is more on the 120, 135. So it should be like in a position where, like, if you take, just look at that player like taking a good shot. It's the angle from the vertical is 45 degree. And Shai was lower than that. So if you start from his belly, is 110 degrees. If you start from the top, it's lower. So it's now looks like a very compact and proper shot.
Mhm.
And again, the wrist was always good because it was. I mean, the rotation on the ball was great. But if you look at how he shots now, the follow through is good. The offhand is better. It's not as forward. And in general, I mean, he's really working on like honing these skills.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, he knows that he will have way more spot up opportunities next season playing with Chet and Giddey.
That was something that I wanted to bring up. And J-Dub. I mean, they've got, you have to be able to play on and off ball, everybody on and off ball with this Thunder team. And it's not even that everybody has to be a playmaker with the ball. You got to be a playmaker without the ball too, which J-Dub is like a natural at that.
Mm-hmm.
Wiggins is also somebody that's like very naturally gifted at running off ball.
Mm-hmm.
And like Kenrich is amazing. I think Shai has gotten better. I think Giddey needs to get better at that.
I wonder where Chet will be in that regard.
He's got, I mean, I am very interested to see. They kind of need him to be one of the best guys like that.
Yeah.
And if he is, he'll have a chance to win Rookie of the Year because I think he'll score a ton, because I think these guys will find him. And it's like almost like a new toy, you know?
Yeah. Hey, look, there's hands raised right there.
Giant and has like incredible touch. Like, let's score baskets with this guy. I think that's going to happen. I think that's what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
I'm very, very intrigued to see what that looks like. But Shai looked great yesterday. 26 points. He had 6 steals yesterday. Yeah, we all know Shai's good. But if the shot improves and if like he can hit off the catch threes, that will be a tremendous like step up for him.
Yeah, you can just play spread pick and roll between Giddey and Chet if that happens. I mean, sometimes there will be teams that will cheat on Ludort, but if you can have moments where you have J-Dub, Giddey, Shai, Chet, and a shooter out there, maybe Micic, maybe Isaiah Joe, or someone else's like that, and you play spread pick and roll with Giddey with the ball in his hands, that will be lethal. Like it's how do you guard it? You go under the pick and roll, Giddey will just sprint to the basket, and or play pick and pop with Chet, and you have like 3 guys that can actually hit 40% of the trees wide open. It's pick your poison, and it's going to be a bad pill to swallow.
Yeah, this is where I just like, if Shai's better, and if Chet can just be a functional big.
Yeah, like averaging 12, 6, and 1 block.
I'm not even asking for a ton from him. And J-Dub is improved, and Giddey is improved. it's just hard for me. And as long as they're healthy, maybe that's like the biggest question. I just think they're going to be good. Like I just think this is going to be a good team.
Guys, I'm trying not to be mad at Andrew right now, but he is the same guy that would be excited for 44 wins. Like, how can I do that? Like, that is why. I mean, if it's 44, it's okay. They played good season.
Okay, but with the context of them getting a playoff series,
yeah.
To be able, I mean, I will be excited.
And you actually said
to go
46
to playoff games in Oklahoma City again.
Yeah, no, and you said like 46, 47. I don't remember, not 44.
Yeah,
which is yeah. I mean, if they can win 47, playing like a lot of like losing a lot of games that are like either wins or losses, and just be dominant, having like a good net rating, that would be exciting. That would actually be exciting. Yeah, and I actually believe if they win 47, they will be there like the 5th, 4th seed next season, because I can see I don't see many teams that are extremely good. I can see many teams that can win more than 44 games next season.
Yeah. I mean, if they got home court advantage in a playoff series, that would be ridiculous. It's just, I'm just excited to have playoff basketball back in Oklahoma City. And if that happened and they won 44 games, yes, I would be excited.
Okay.
Yes, I would I would be very excited. Let's see. James Anderson in the chat said that Wiggins and Markkanen stunk their first few years. Let's go through their stats real quick and see if they're anything close to what Jonathan Kuminga is. For Markkanen in year 1, 15 and 7.5 in year 1. Shot 36% on 6 attempts from 3.
Yeah, that is not stinking. Sorry.
In year 2 for Chicago, 18 and 9, shooting 36% on 6 threes a game. Like, that's great. If Kuminga did that, man, we'd be talking about the Warriors dynasty part 2 incoming.
Yeah.
For Wiggins in year 1, 16.9 points per game, 4.6 boards, 2 assists. In year 2, 20 points. I mean, he averaged 20 points per game.
No, it's James. I'm sorry. Those were not stinky players. Those were miscast players.
Yes.
In the eye of the media. Like, Kuminga is not getting on the court.
He's not even doing these things. Yeah. I mean, Wiggs and Markkanen would have gotten on the court in the playoffs.
Yeah.
For the Warriors in real minutes. And Kuminga is just definitely a tier below. And that's why, if I'm Toronto, I'm not necessarily excited either.
Yeah.
For a package surrounding Jonathan Kuminga. But
no. My definition of stinky for a top 10 pick is just being like, what's the name? Texas A&M. No, Texas Tech. Sorry, 6th pick. Culver.
Oh, Culver,
which had a terrible rookie season and horrible workouts. And that is a stinky 2 years window.
Yeah, Jarrett Culver's he's pretty rough. I mean, guys that were like legitimately not good in their first few years that ended up being good. I mean, I'm going back pretty far just to make sure that I'm.
Even Oladipo was not great, but he was scoring for Orlando. I mean, there were games where he actually scored 36 points. I remember one against OKC, which was like 3 for 3 at the end of the game, where Russ like overtime, and it was Oladipo scoring 36 points. Like, and it was not a great rookie career for the 3rd pick.
13.8, 4 and 4 in year 1. Then year 2, 18, 4 and 4.
Yeah.
I mean, Kuminga just finished year 2. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to even find somebody that was just really legitimately bad that ended up being like a all-star type of player. Like the guys that were bad, like Stanley Johnson and Justice Winslow and, oh boy, Ben McLemore and Trey Burke.
man. I fell for him.
A lot of people did.
He was so juicy.
Especially the Kings.
This shot was so juicy.
Thomas Robinson and gosh, I mean,
Anthony Bennett.
Anthony Bennett. It's just it's tough to find the player though. Noah Vonleh and Alfred Payton. Like it's just tough to find the guy in that range. Marquise Chris, Dragon Bender, Chris Dunn, Thon Maker was the 10th pick. Makor.
And by the way, on this topic, Sam Vecini and Adam Spinella made like a great podcast on misevaluations and reasons behind this. And I think it's very informative and it's a very good podcast. To me, there are not many of these. And so after 2 years, if you didn't show anything that will just say, oh, at least the wow moment, which Kuminga had good games, but those were like in moments where, I mean, you just need someone to score the points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. All right. There's an August podcast for you. Anything else before we go?
I thought you had 5 questions.
I did. We didn't get through them. That's okay. We did 3. The other 2 are left on the cutting room floor, and that's fine by me. So we're good.
You don't want like 2 very quick answers? Like,
no.
Okay. Then we'll save it for another time.
I'm completely satisfied right now with this podcast. All right. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back on Wednesday. I think we are maybe this week or next week doing a Deborah Buckets trivia hour. I don't know if that's this week or next week.
Wow.
So prepare your hearts and minds for that. It's going to be very fun. You guys enjoy your Sunday. Michele, enjoy the birthday party, and we will talk to you guys again on Wednesday.